I had no idea.
I had absolutely no idea. I was like, climate-wise, it's probably going to be pretty similar to Dunedin. And it is.
That gives you a clue. We were coming to London being like, what's the weather going to be like? And where are we going to live? Like, we had no plans as a band. There was no premeditated, here's the plan to get big in England and like
we
do
didn't
things
know that
like
we were going to live here.
We had no idea that we were gonna, we got on the plane not knowing who was going to pick us up, just assuming someone would, not knowing where we were staying or anything like that. That's how we first arrived in England. And we so we started at exactly zero and then started building it up again. We do things because people suggest them, and if they sound like fun, we'll just do them. And our record label, we had signed to a record label, a little small one that was based internationally, not in London at the time. And then they said, now we're going to base ourselves in London and give this a crack. We want you closer to us, so how would you feel about moving to London? And we just went, yeah, alright.
We just happened to like be like, hey, here we are, we're like gonna jump in this Airbnb, share a room in there for a month, played a gig 2 days after we arrived, and then slowly just met people and lived around.
Yeah, disseminated ourselves into the community. Hackney Wick is the closest. What's the closest it's like to New Zealand? I mean, we would say Dunedin. There's the studenty around the central community vibe of Dunedin.
Is why it was like reminded me of Dunedin.
Very small. Most people are into the same kind of thing. In Dunedin, it was the loose tie was being at university, and then you did other stuff. Here, it's like you work in hospitality and you do art. But the community, in terms of being able to walk down the street, you see everyone you know. There's like 3 places where everyone goes. I think it's a little cul-de-sac. The only access is really through weird kind of bridges from other parts.
It's an island.
Or it is an island that we can kind of hide in, which is what I like.
And then you realise that this is just like one tiny little portion of London, and London's actually really huge. But it's so easy to forget that. You're like, oh, London is Hackney Wick for me, basically.
The album is entirely created around what we've done in Hackney Wick. I don't think there's a single song that doesn't really reference Hackney Wick or feelings we've had in Hackney Wick. And so it would be strange to be in a parallel universe where we didn't arrive here and we lived somewhere else and see what the album... Do you know what? The album would probably already be out.
It's kind of a bit of a blessing and a curse. Like us not really knowing what the hell was going on. Which was a little bit detrimental in some ways because we faffed around a lot. But
we were 21 and 22. We just fucking we did the band thing because it was fun, and then we were like, hey, we're in a new city with all these amazing new young people. We just had fun. Well, the thing is, we can't come back and do what we've done. So the 2 options are basically you do well enough to secure some kind of funding through a publishing deal or whatever in the music industry to finance an artist visa, which is really easy to get. It just costs money. And that's a rolling 1-year visa that you can live. You can't work, but you can just live here in England as an artist. That's always an option. And then, I mean, most bands who do England still just do the 6 months visiting visa. We're here on holiday, and then you've got 3 months? 3 months, and then 3 months is more than enough time to tour the entire of England and spend some time chilling. Like, I think that kind of answers what we want to do next. Is basically we've now lived in another place. We've done that whole thing, and I think we just want to do what we've done here, but speed up the time scale a lot. So just do a lot more travel and less time in one place. This 2-year period won't. The album that comes out of this 2-year period will be a reflection of our musical lives of these 2 years. But the next 10 years worth of what we do as musicians and people and making music will all come from the lessons that we've like learned as people in the last 2 years about what we want to do and just learning our lessons and what's fun and what isn't, and all that. It's been worthwhile in that aspect. It's like 2-year investment into like the next 10 years of being able to probably do things slightly smarter and having more fun and just realizing what you need and what you don't need.